Thank you and welcome. Karibuni sana. We are at Nasinya Grill. The place everybody should be. Visit and enjoy. It's quite calm and beautiful. Today is a sunny day, yes, no rain. And I'm welcoming you to Feli Talk. Quite beautiful show. You need to join us and continue watching. Like, share and subscribe. Karibuni sana. I have a question. How was your childhood? How was it? What plans did you have when you were growing up? I had my own plans. But did your dreams come true? Today, I'm joined by one of my beautiful friends at Nasinya. Yes, she came to visit me, and I'm happy to welcome her to Feli Talks. She has quite a very beautiful story to encourage us, and also to tell us that to fall, it's normal. But the coming up depends on what motive you have and the energy that is, and what is inspiring you. Karibuni sana. I'm welcoming my beautiful friend. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Yes.
Majina unayo mingi. No, I can call you my nickname.
I'm Sophia.
Yes.
Some know me as Judy.
Yes.
But Mwadhoni Mwangi.
Yes, now the Mudhoni is more beautiful for me because that's what I know, Mudhoni, and I call you Judy.
Yes.
But the Sophia?
Yeah, Sophia is my new season. Sophia means God's wisdom.
God's wisdom.
It's prophetic.
Hallelujah. That's very good.
Yes.
Now, your story is quite beautiful because when we knew you as Judy, coming to Sophia, it's quite a transition. Eh?
Yes.
I know you're born and brought up in Nairobi.
Yes, born and raised in Nairobi.
Unajua Ushago?
Yes, visiting. But not even worse because my grandparents are gone.
Wow.
So we rarely go there.
Yes.
Yeah. But born and raised in Nairobi, in a flat.
Yes.
We don't know about shambas.
Wow.
What is to go fetch water? No. It is so bad. So at one point I was with my uncle in Kiambu. He had invited me in his homestead. And I asked him, which plant is this? He laughed. He told me, but that is a tomato plant.
Oh my God.
And I told him, I know tomatoes from supermarket. I don't know them from shamba. I don't know how it looks like as a plant. But anyway, with time now, I'm mkulima. I know them now. I know better.
Quite funny, eh?
Yes.
Sasa hapa Nasinya kuna shamba ya ng'ombe hapa.
Yeah,
so
right.
after this I want to see whether you can able
To milk.
To milk.
That is a task.
Sasa tuangalie kama
It's possible.
it's possible for now.
You'll teach me first and then we'll do it.
That's very good. Now, Judy, minus you being bought and brought up in Nairobi, I know it was quite an interesting journey for your life. And I don't know where to start because the story is quite big and it's quite encouraging. And I want to cut it short to just for the viewers who are listening us today.
All right.
You're one of one special people, I can say.
Thank God.
We thank God for that.
Yes.
And Judy, can you just tell us which part of Nairobi were you born?
I was born in Eastlands.
Yes.
My dad was working with the railways. So we were born. We were raised in railways quarters. And then now I shifted. After I grew up, I went to primary still in the same estate used to have primary. I finished, I went to Pangani Girls. Then from there, I went now to work, but I was doing by correspondence my degree in bachelor in administration. Wow. But now I was living in Gong. I shifted now from Eastlands. I went to Gong, Gong Road.
To Apango.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Them days, eh?
Yeah, with Mrs. Chariot.
Oh, that's very beautiful.
Yes.
Now, Judy, now you are here, you are done with your primary, you are in high school. Now, you finish your high school so nicely in Pangani Girls.
Yes.
Now you are here joining university.
Yes, I went to Kenya Polytechnic first. Yes. I did an institution management course. I wanted to be a manager. So everything I was doing, I was gearing it towards the manager because we were trained for blue-collar jobs half of the time. We were never trained to do the technical jobs. Yes. So my mind is I want to sit in that chair that rolls and moves, yeah. So I pursued that so hard. I went to Kim to enhance the management. Yes. And then now I did privately the BA. By that time, we were doing it with South Africa. Yes. As a correspondence, whatever, university. And then now from there, currently I'm doing psychology. Wow. Because I had a need to know about human beings, but it was more moved in understanding men than human beings at first.
I think you have the big book to read. Yeah. I think that's another story to talk about.
Yeah.
Now, Judy, It's quite interesting. I know you come from a very humble beginning. Wani wale watoto mna grow mnasema nasoma, nimalize high school, I go to university, I get a very beautiful job. Na mimi ndo huyo harusi.
Yes, at 25.
At 25.
Everything was set.
Everything.
It was set. With 2 children after that. You know, I'm a very ambitious girl, and I grew very ambitious. I knew everything from beginning to the end. I knew I'm finishing university. I knew I'm getting married to this guy who is also in corporate, yeah. I'll push myself corporate. Zimeandikwa kwa kitabu. Yeah, handsome and all that. Yeah, and very intelligent because we have issues to discuss.
Yes.
And so when I finished, I couldn't match with the rhyme with estate guys because for me, I had already labeled them socially. Yeah?
Class another dimension.
I wanted intelligence so much, not even class, because I knew I'm going high in life. Yeah. So I had to set myself with another guy who is high. Even at one point now, I said, let me go get a guy from university because they have to have brains, yeah, in university. Then I found brains and and social relationship is different things.
Wow.
And then when I was in Polytechnic, I decided, no, let's do it differently. Maybe age is the question. I'm going for 2 young guys. Maybe let's go up kidogo.
Now you have to upgrade on
I went 10 years ahead of me.
So now you are these girls who think of age and
intelligence go together. Yes. And then I found it doesn't go together because even 10 years ahead of me, he was still behaving like the guy I left down there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So at one given time, the wedding happened or did not happen?
The wedding was an illusion that never happened because because I found people are not interested in wedding, they're interested in just relationships and breaking your heart. Then even the older one broke my heart. And then now I decided I'm going to do it now on my own terms. Now into my own terms.
I can imagine. Forget
about marriage. Even the whole world is saying marriage does not work. So I joined that bandwagon of saying even marriage doesn't work. So I decided, okay, let me just have the kids. So the husband was removed from the equation. Now it became the kids.
Who came first, the husband or the kids?
The kids now. The husband was never in the picture. It never happened as my arrangement. But we thank God for the kids. They're 2 beautiful, lovely girls.
Wow, wonderful.
Yes.
I'm a mother of girls also.
Yes. Then I pursued, I entered the insurance industry. I did it for 8 years. But before insurance industry, I had started real estate in Kitengela.
Yes.
Then I decided I need to pay my bills. I joined the insurance industry. Yes. Then I was not satisfied. I didn't want to work. I'm more of a business person than work. Yes. So I had to come back to Kitengela again to start where I had left in real estate. Yeah. And now I'm progressing with it and venturing now to development also.
I want to take you back. Now, you are here. You are done with your university. Now, you are now approaching the 25 that you want the wedding. Now, things just happen. Now, the kids start coming in before the wedding. At one given time, did you think like, now I need to settle down?
That's why I was working so hard when I was changing them from university. I'm changing them to the older one. I was trying to beat the 25 so that they can come and fit in nicely. So that my program, it's about my program, remember?
About my program.
Yeah, that is in my head. This thing has to happen and it has to happen my way. Yeah. And then you find life does not go your way. It has to go its way sometimes. And then I didn't know God by that time to involve him in this because I thought I could do it, I could make it.
So, tuseme when wale wasichana wa Nairobi, tulidunda vizuri.
Yeah, from everywhere. If you know Carnival, if you know Boomerang, we did it well. Because we had to grow up. It was part of growing up. And it's a good growing up, which I tell people. It's good because if you jump a stage, you might go back to it, like they say. But now we had to do it all. And then when the marriage didn't click, we had with the children. In the process with the children, now that's when I meet God and I start now reevaluating. Because I thought the men are so bad, but that's why I was doing psychology to understand them. That's why I was interested in psychology. But the more I started knowing God, the more I started understanding myself first, understanding men, understanding everything was falling into equation. Yeah.
So at that given time, now you came and settled down. Now you are here, you want now to balance now your life.
Yes.
Let me leave it there for now. We are going for a short break. And when we come back, Judy will be telling us about now the transition.
Yes.
May God bless you. Thank you and welcome back. This is Fairly Talks. Na leo niko na rafiki yangu mkubwa, one Sophia.
Yeah, man.
Sophia?
Yes.
Na hiyo jina ni tamu. Sophia, I want to take you back kidogo. There's something so encouraging about the transition between you being Judy to Sophia.
To Sophia.
Can you give us now what changed between Judy and why did you drop the Judy, now you came to Sophia?
It was changes as you move on in life, yeah. Judy was basing her life in values about life. Her values were from the world, let me say from books, from movies, from everything, from society that was not telling us that life cannot be arranged that way. It can be arranged that those who get married at 25 and do everything the way I have explained it, but there was no one to tell Judy that sometimes it might not go the way I've arranged. But Sophia was after salvation because in salvation, so Judy didn't have much values. She was doing on her own things. All she wanted is her life to be the way she wanted it to be. So it didn't matter who, but everybody she was zeroing in was marriage, like I had told you. Yes. And then now, even she didn't know what marriage is for, let me put it that way. Because if she landed marriage at that time, I don't think it would have worked. Yeah. Because, again, it was just one of those trophies she wanted to achieve in her cabinet. Yes, yes. It was not for what it is all about. And then now you can see the next trophy was the children. Yes, yes. And now when Sophia is, like I told you, is the wisdom of God. When I met God, it's still my name, fully my name. And that's when I picked it up. I had dropped it, now I picked it up to be using it officially. Because now I started gaining the wisdom of God on this thing now, about life, who am I, and what is marriage for, what is children for. And that's now I have come to, I have a company called We've Become in this organization, or what do you say, faith-based. My work is now to mentor the youth and the women. And the women, I want to tell them to cut all the stereotypes about life and try to live what they are, to find out who they are, and to know it's not the man that pushes you in life, sorry to say so, it's God who pushes you through life. Amen. And me, I wanted the man so that I can become. That's what it's called, Evolve Become. I wanted a man so that I can become. Now I had to reverse it in one point, the man was removed and now I put God in it so that I can become who I am.
Judy, let me take you back kidogo. I know evolve and become. So now, if I put it between Judy and Sophia, as I look back, there's this Judy who was at her 20s, who life was so beautiful. Now there's a time I want to get married, now the baby comes. That was the first baby, is that true?
Yes.
Now when the baby first comes, now you're like, did you somehow give up about marriage now?
Yes, I did, because I just gave up, because the relationship I'm trying, my parameters I told you once was, I want somebody who has intelligence. I thought it was in the university and it's not there. I want somebody who is older, maybe they are stable. Again, it's not in age. And I had to leave it to know it's not in age. And then I came and now met my age mate. Now I said, no, it's going to work. Maybe I'm still the one who didn't know.
So now this after the first baby?
Now the baby is with my age mate now.
Now I get it. Yeah.
Now that time now I said, okay, let me just have these babies, whether he's there or not. Now I'm reaching 30, and you know now all the alarms are on and everybody's telling you about the cycle and all that. So I had to do something about it. Now again, it's me doing something about it. So I got the babies. I made a decision. It was a good decision, no regrets. So it was just part of learning these things. But now, again, that one didn't work with that guy, my age mate. Now I had to leave and come back home. Here in my home is Kitengela now. I started life afresh. That's when I was entering in Christ. That's when I was learning more and more and more. And then I said, now marriage is, when God brings it, I will have it.
Become a scam, eh?
Yeah. Before, by the time I was taking my age mate, it was a scam, kabisa. I didn't want. Yeah, I was just doing it, things. You know, have you reached somewhere where you just do something for the sake of doing it? Why am I even having babies outside the marriage.
Yes.
But this time I was saying, no, I'm living life at my own terms. Yeah, let me, the way they say, at least have the babies, even if you don't have the man. So I
Yes.
bought into that too.
Yes.
Yeah, I could
Yes.
buy on any. When you don't have a value system, you buy into any story.
Any story.
Yeah, that comes your way.
And you want just to become.
Yeah, I want to become. I want to be busy, so and so. I want to be part of this society so badly.
Judy, at this time, where were your parents?
They're there. They're in Nairobi. But I'm not going for them for advice because they don't know. You're in this stage, they don't know what life is right now. So why would I go ask them for advice on these things?
Now, do you think if you had gone back to them, something could have changed back then?
I think no. It was too... again, my parents also, they were raised in Oshago. Their system also was not our system.
Yes.
So I am like too ahead of them in everything.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Them now, they're learning from me. They're just watching me like I know what I'm doing.
Oh, I get it now.
Yes.
So they are here, surprised.
Yes.
They think now you're doing big,
Mm.
and they want also to learn from you.
Yes, you get baby number one. They don't ask because they say you know what you're doing.
Yes.
But they didn't know it was a girl who wanted somebody to tell them,
Yes.
this is wrong, this is right.
Take it slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like reevaluate your values, your choices,
Yes.
and do the correct choices. But only God can evaluate your choices and you do the correct choices.
Yes.
Because once I came to God, I understood what marriage is for. I understood my choices were based on human beings, and human beings cannot handle the works of God in you because you were made from heaven and everything.
Yes.
I wanted human beings to do this and this for me, but they couldn't.
Good. Now, Judy, you are here now. Umetoka, umeamua, let me start afresh.
Yeah.
Now, umekuja Kitengela.
Yeah.
Now, you have your 2 babies there. And now marriage is scam kabisa.
Yeah.
Now, you evolve into another dimension now.
Yes.
Now, what was running in your mind? Or what was running in your mind? I just want to understand.
Now I'm coming to learn God now. I've come to Tulia and raise my kids now.
Oh, yes.
Let me learn everything about God, because even God at one point was a scam to me. Now I'm coming to know the real God, and he's very interesting. I found he's not a scam as I thought. It was still what people had told me. Now I come to learn him better. I come to understand him better. And I know marriage is of his, and it has to be a guy he has selected for you. Otherwise, if you select for yourself, that's why we go into those 3 times trials that are failing and failing after failing. So I sat and said, you bring the man to me.
Wow.
Then that's where we are at.
I love that part. That you don't go and write the person you want.
Yes.
God is going
To bring the
to
person.
bring the person.
You learn, you develop yourself
Okay.
to this woman
Yes.
that now that God can pair you to this man he has developed somewhere also.
Yes.
But don't try to match it
Or
yourself.
to match it yourself.
Yeah.
Like you have these questions. and
Parameters,
answers, and
yes.
Like, is it tall?
Yeah. Is dark?
Is dark?
No.
Akona kitambi ama hana?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
So those now.
Because now again the person is internal, not external.
Yes.
If the internal is done well, forget about the external. The God who did the internal knows the kind of the tall you want and the short you want. Yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Now Judy changes to be Sophia. And huyu sasa ameingia, amejua mambo ya Mungu. Now you are here building what you want to do. Now I want you to talk to a 20-year-old before now the Judy was and what they can become before the transition.
For me, the 20-year-old is to tell her you can't use your brain to figure out some things. You may use the education you've been given and what you see in the society, but you will err a lot. Because you will, they say like marriage is about falling in love. And then it's not about love. Though it is good love, it will bring you together. The chemistry is good, but it won't sustain the marriage. Because you will find in marriage, you find that kind of God's love, the unconditional. Because it transists from that to unconditional, where you have to take the person the way they are, with all their flaws and their goodness. But now, when you're 25, you can't take that nonsense. That's why you walk out when you find what the flaws are, because you're not, your system is not built to take in the weaknesses of the person.
Wonderful. Now Judy, you came to become Sophia. I'm really loving. I just want to bring this forward because I want somebody just to match your story in their life. I want somebody to be encouraged by you.
Yes.
And I need you to talk and also give us between your challenges, becoming Judy, and transiting to Sophia, and knowing God now at that position?
To be Sophia meant to pull out from everyone.
From everybody?
Even from my friends.
Ah, now I get it, yeah.
Coming here, it's to pull out from everyone. It's to run away from Nairobi and all its craziness and all its drama, so that you can come here. And then God has been teaching more now. My work is more to stabilize the 20-year-old. To tell her, you know, we've been put for like marriage is everything. It's to stabilize her, to tell her marriage is not everything. Concentrate on yourself first. Remove marriage from the equation. It will find you. But now we work with it in the equation so much that we make so many errors trying to make it happen. We push it to happen. That's why you see some of us get pregnant to make it happen. Some of us will cheat, lie, and do everything to make it happen because the society wants it to happen. So we were working with it also to make it happen. So my 20-year-old, I'll tell her, concentrate on improving yourself educationally, concentrate on getting a job, have wealth. That man of your caliber will come, even if you have 3 cars, he will come with his 10.
And have fun.
Yeah, and have fun in the middle of it all. Wow. Stop concentrating so much of let marriage happen, let marriage happen. And then you neglect everything else. You're not listening to anyone. Because there's a way like our mind is tied to a man, I don't know why, that women will not rest until it happens. No, my ministry is to tell women, no, put the man aside. Who are you without that man? Be you first. Be you first. When you be you first, this man will come. But now chasing him, you see the race we do in Nairobi, you know the race we do. Yeah, but now mine is to tell them, be you first. Yes. You're complete without him. Let him come when you're more stable. That's why I say marriage for women at 30, I agree. At the man also maybe 32. That's the time you start realizing yourself. The other one is a race you're doing over nothing. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's what I would tell my 20-year-old. Yes. Be yourself first. Be yourself first. Amass your wealth. Yes. You can also be that somebody, and then you will get the somebody in.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, Judy, now you are here, you became Sophia. Now you are learning more about psychology, and now you've started, you've known God, and now you've started your own business.
Yes,
Did you quit your job, or did you start your own?
Okay, sorry. For the 8 years I work in the insurance industry, I worked for the last one, it went under receivership. And that's when I said, no, let me go back to my business, which I had started of real estate. And then I went back to it. Then from that, I found I have a passion of writing. I write a lot. I have anything and everything. I do articles, not novels. And then I came now the passion of talking to the youth and the women in businesses. I do mentor them in businesses also, how to start, especially, you know, in this area, they are doing small businesses here and there. So I guide them in it and also talk to them that life, there's no hurry to this life.
How is it taking you now?
Now I'm okay. Now I'm stable to even be able to do it with them. And the business is doing well. And as we go, we'll see where it is leading.
We are going to take a short break, and now we'll come back and we're going to talk more about how you're empowering these people. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yes, Karibu.
Now, Sophia.
Yes.
Tumesahau Judy.
Yeah.
Now umeanza kutrain youth and women.
Yes.
And do you train them from the church or you do it from organizations? Okay,
I established my own organization, the Evolve Become.
Evolve Become.
And like I told you, the meaning of evolving is because I want them to evolve, to grow, to evolve. Yes. So that they can become who they are, because most people want to jump from who they are to becoming. So I had to emphasize in evolving. Evolving, I found, is the most critical thing in every human being. If they are not evolving, they are not becoming. And then now when I came to Kitengela, it's Mashinani, I found a different caliber of a woman. There are two different women now here. There's the woman now in the, I met them in church setup where I was going. So they could come to me, I don't know, they were referring each other. And they wanted help. For them, it was financial. And then it was more financial issues. And they are single. I find they are single women with 7 babies, 6 babies, 10 babies, and they are not married and they are sleeping in mabati houses.
Yeah.
So those ones now, their mathematics is to think first feeding them.
Yeah.
And then now you try to set them in small projects, like soap making, like making the chips at the side of the road, so that they can stop having the struggle of the feeding of these children,
Yes.
so that even they can listen to the pastor. Because if they are not hungry, they're not listening to the pastor.
Exactly.
Because they are coming to churches, but they're coming to look for me because they want food, not because of the word. And I know if you make them full or eat, then they can listen, and the listening of the word is what will evolve them, for them to become something that now they can be solid in the Lord. So I started taking care of these women and then setting them small businesses.
Yes.
Okay, their issues are many, 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 because one, they don't concentrate because of these burdens.
Yes.
But I was trying I try the much I can with them. And then I have the other women. The issues now is my kind of women. The issues is relationships, not money. Relationships and maybe spirituality, how to understand the word.
Yes.
So now those ones now, what I do is to stabilize them in the word, to stabilize them, now to discuss their relationship and see what is the best way forward, what is creating the trouble they are in. Because sometimes we realize, I try to tell them, there's this thing when God in the Garden of Eden, when he was cursing the snake, he told the woman, your desire will be the man.
Yes.
And it was a curse in itself.
Yes.
But when you come to Christianity, it's supposed to be broken.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean that you're not desiring him, but you're supposed to find yourself in Christ as an individual, so that he can find himself and then you can be whole. This oneness is in both whole, not half-half. But when now the woman is still clinging on this man too much, like the way it was said in the Garden of Eden, he's erring so much because he's too emotional in the marriage. He's too unstable. And destabilizing this man, Baka, he's going to the bars and all that he does to run away from this home. Exactly. So mine is to stabilize the woman, to tell her, you can stand. You can stand on your own. I don't know how to, to tell her, stop clinging on him. Stop, when you're doing the prayer of finance, you pray for him, pray for yourself also. So that you can also stabilize financially and he stabilizes. When you see things of issue of marriage of other women, stop yelling and screaming at 3 a.m. when he's coming in. I think pray first. And when you pray, now you can disable this thing because it's already a spiritual issue. There's a door open, that's why these other women are coming into your marriage. But again, now the man also has to be involved in this. I know we can't leave the man outside because if the man is the one who's making the woman unstable, so the man also has to be stabilized in a way.
Wow, that's so wonderful.
Yeah.
That reminds me, there's a time I was listening to one of a Nigerian preacher. She's a woman. She was saying the problem with women when they are taught to pray for their men, they'll shout and even they talk in tongues. But when they're taught to pray for yourself, you have nothing to pray for yourself, about yourself. Yeah,
and I saw the danger of that. I have 2 friends of mine. They prayed for their men. The men progressed, and dumped them because now they needed a woman on that. Because now you're not progressing. Yours is you're praying. You've never asked God about yourself. What about me? So these 2 women, very good example of mine, they were left, and the men, when they went to the ladder, they looked for another woman on the same level. Because he's coming home to a woman who is not developed, who doesn't know herself. She's just the small girl he married who has never moved an inch. Wow. So now, that's why I say I concentrate on women, develop yourself, so that this man, as he develops, you can match. Because marriage is about matching at every level in life. You have to be moving together. Not him being the CEO and you're still down. Not that a housewife is bad, but even if it's a housewife who is also learning, improving herself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that is quite a very nice note. So, Judy, where do we find you?
I'm in Facebook.
Yes.
And as Sophia Mwangi. Yeah, just Sophia Mwangi, you'll find me.
Yes.
Yeah.
In mail and website?
The same Sophia Mwangi 03@gmail.com. Yeah.
Wow. And if somebody want to book an appointment with you, they have to write to you directly?
They can call me or just let them come to the Facebook and message me. Yeah.
How is business now? Real estate?
Real estate is quite a bit down because of Corona, but it's picking now as people go back to their jobs, because people first concentrate on stomach when things like pandemic come. Buying the assets slows down a bit. Yeah.
When you look back, the Judy and the Sophia that you are today, what can you...
I would say I love Sophia more. Sophia is marriable. Let's forget about Judy.
Yes.
Judy is chaotic.
Yes.
Judy was about herself.
Yes.
And what she wanted in life.
Yes.
But now Sophia is about God and what God wants in her life. Yeah, she's more accommodating. Judy could not accommodate much, but Sophia is accommodating. That's why you hear I'm entering even Mabati and sitting down with those women and doing all those things.
Yes.
Judy couldn't be found to do all that.
Yes.
She was high up, running her own life. Yeah.
So if you have to give an advice for somebody who is looking forward to get married, what could you tell?
First, I would say study the man or study the woman.
Yes.
And studying is not this coffee thing.
Yes.
No. I want you to know their home, where they come from. Because their home will tell you how stable they are, emotionally and maturity level.
Yes.
Because there are people who come from chaotic home.
Yes.
But when you're sitting them on the coffee table, they look stable and nice. Until you marry them and find they can't manage anger, they can't manage decision making, because these are things they learn from homes. Okay, the books can teach them when they are doing their courses, but home is fundamental. Natural, I say the natural is very fundamental from home. The books are come to add, and Christ come to add more.
Yes.
But pale nyumbani, okay, I'm not saying everybody was fortunate to come from a stable home.
Yes.
But they should know where they come from. Like I have a friend of mine I came to learn of the other day why she's so erratic. She doesn't tulia in anything. She's in this church, she's in this church, she's in this church. Then we asked her life, and I found she came from an orphanage. She was being moved from one orphanage to the other one to the other one. So you see, this girl has no sense of stability, what it's all about.
Yes.
So that's why I'm talking about background. Or don't ignore background. It will tell you more about the person. Yeah.
That's quite so interesting. Judy, there's something I'm thinking to ask you. I don't know whether you'll allow me. It's more about, in a relationship, about the issue that are coming through with relationship, like wife battling. How?
Battling, you'll find it's an anger issue that has not been controlled.
Yes.
Because it was not controlled at the right time of upbringing. The kid could do whatever it wants because it's angry. And the dad also was doing the same. So I'm the mother. So it's copied from down there. So I would say this battering needs, you sit down with a psychologist, a professional one. I know people go to the church ones. They're okay. But you need a professional one to walk you through the anger, why the anger is there and why it has never been handled. And then, once you understand something, it's like something lifts up from you. Once you understand that this anger, it's because my mom was so this or my dad was so this. If you walk that journey, which most people don't want to go back to their journeys, but if you're ready to walk that journey, you will come out well.
Judy, it's good you mentioned that when somebody has to check on their background, would you advise somebody to walk away?
In battling, yeah. If you're being battled, your life comes first. You better walk out and tell him to manage it.
Yes.
With the professions.
Yes.
And when the professions have managed it for him, then now you can. And not you pushing him to go.
Exactly.
It's him coming to. Separation is allowed. Just separate. Because how good will you be when you're dead and your children are orphan? So it's better just separate. Let him manage his issue with the professions. And then you will gauge with time and see it's workable and see if you can go back. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Now, in real estate, nyumba ziko wapi?
Nyumba ziko Kitengela na shamba ziko Kitengela.
Yes.
You should all come here. I get for you land.
Yeah, we are here.
Yeah.
People are not forgetting we are at Nasinya Grill.
Yes.
And she's part of Kitengela. She knows this place very well.
Mm-hmm.
And we are in a very beautiful grounds where everybody can come and enjoy what we are enjoying today.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy to have you today.
Thank you so much for listening.
We'll keep talking and encouraging people.
Yes.
And keep doing the good job that you are doing.
I will.
I know a lot of people may not know why you are doing it, but
Yeah.
it's good now you have explained to them why you are doing it.
Yes.
So, do you still believe in marriage?
Yes, like now I'm still searching.
You're still searching?
But my value system has changed. What I'm looking for is not all dark and handsome. You have to be born, not just born again, beyond born again, born and raised by God.
Like
Yeah, you have to have moved, not just I got saved, you have to have gone another level with God. Yeah. Yes.
That's so wonderful.
And it's visible in your action and everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now you are like ready.
Ready?
Wow.
If that man is around, I'm ready.
Wonderful.
I'm
That's
ready.
very good. That's very good.
Yes.
I'm really happy to have you today.
Yes.
And so much happy to also I've honored the invitation.
Thank you so much
I
to
cannot take
find
it for granted because I know you're a busy person.
Yes.
Sijui tuseme nini, tuseme asanti.
Thank you for inviting me too.
Yeah, thank you for giving out your story.
Yes.
And thank you for encouraging somebody.
Yes.
And telling people you can start afresh.
Yes.
And make to be somebody.
Yes.
Asante sana. We are here at Nasinya Grill. Let's keep the encouragement, let's keep inspiring people, and let's keep doing the right. Asante sana.